And welcome in, everybody, to the MHRT podcast. I'm your host, Undungus Creevy, joined by my co-host, 6'10" Mexican, Mr. Boggins, and Hi. Glenn. We go live every Thursday at 7654. You know where to put them on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So if you would, please give us a like and a follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up and share everything we post everywhere. How's everybody doing today?
Let me just say that was the second time I heard that intro, and it sounded even better. The second time around. You tried to steal it the
first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was just. I'm just saying. I'm just giving props. It sounded way better the second time.
That's right.
Yeah, I did.
So there is like.
Is Don just cold with his right hand? I'm just curious. You're holding it back.
No, it's my glove. I can't find my other one, so this is a reminder to look for the other one after the podcast.
Legit, I have the exact same ones, and I can't find one of mine either.
I'm hoping it's
that's weird.
He's going puffy Michael Jackson hand.
This is my reminder after the podcast to go look for my other glove because I can't find it. And
okay, but why do you have the glove on?
So I remember. So I remember to look for it because then otherwise I'll put it down and I'll forget.
Did he tie a string around the finger of one of the gloves?
No string. It's very warm though.
Well, I bet.
I don't know how yours fit. Mine don't fit. Mine are too. I have huge hands, so mine are.
I do too.
Don's fit like a glove.
My hands are huge.
Like
that'll be it tonight, guys. That's
gonna be the end of it.
See you later.
No, there is like. And it sucks that like we're on so much later in the week because there's so much going on, but there's so much to catch up on. Like we got all the free agency signings. So what we're gonna kind of do is we're gonna go like swing through all the free agency that happened in the NFL, and then we're gonna hit the stuff for the Broncos. So we're gonna do something called the weekly recap real quick. Dun dun dun.
Fancy.
That was pretty cool.
So
that was abrupt.
Do it again.
I try. So, do it again. Did it again. Now next time I expect Glenn to have the Ron Burgundy stuff on. Like the wig, the jacket, all that stuff.
Next time we're just like all not wearing shirts.
Whoa.
Oh, gotcha. Wrong podcast. Sorry.
Okay, so we've got. Well, let's just start off easy. There was an NFL broadcast deal that was just done through 2033. I think it's stupid, but whatever. It's basically the same thing. They just added more of Amazon in it, which is dumb.
Yeah, not too much.
Let's see. We've got. Oh, Mitchell Trubisky is going to back up Josh Allen because he's definitely not going to the Bills to start.
I like that. No. I like that move. I think that a change of scheme for Trubisky could be exactly what he needed. It'll be interesting to see if he even gets a chance to play a game, and not in terms of cleaning up after a Buffalo win, but just to see if Josh Allen does get hurt, what Mitch Trubisky can do in a different offensive scenario.
It just sounds like
with Allen running the way he does, I think it's it's just a matter of time before he does suffer some type of an injury. I think it's a smart move. He knows he's not going to be the starting quarterback in any place, and why not go to a bona fide Super Bowl contender? Good choice, Smith. Really.
I think the Bills are pretty much just filling holes, and it's looking good. I mean, with Emmanuel Sanders, I heard that they were kind of in the mix for Zach Ertz too, and just having a competent, semi-competent backup for Josh Allen in case something happens through the year that just kind of secures your spot in the playoffs, maybe more. I just think it's a good fit.
I was going to say Sanders went to the Bills too, right? Where did Ertz go?
Yeah.
He's on the market.
Nowhere yet.
The Eagles gave him permission to test free agency.
Now, was Trubisky a trade or was he cut and then picked up?
He was cut.
He's free agent.
He was a free agent, yeah. The Bears didn't pick up his 5th year.
We've also got Will Fuller heading to the Dolphins. That could be fun. As long as he stays healthy.
That'll be interesting.
Well, he's also suspended for the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, first 2 games or first 3?
I think just one, actually.
Just one?
1 or 2. Him and Bouye, wherever Bouye lands.
That might be interesting for a draft pick. Might make the Dolphins want to trade back a little bit more since they're getting more receivers. But the first game suspension might influence that a little bit.
And that was going to be another thing I said was you got Atlanta re-signing Matt Ryan. He basically can't be cut and can't be traded. So you can't really you can't touch him. So I mean they're really not in. You wouldn't think they're in the quarterback market.
Oh no, they definitely are
now.
Oh, they absolutely are. It's been a thing for a while because they haven't been able to cut Matt Ryan for a while because of his contract and the amount of dead cap it would be insane. So but a lot of people have speculated that they would take like a Justin Fields or a Trey Lance who might need a little extra time to sit behind, and especially with the new head coach over there coming from the Titans, who is Arthur Smith, I believe, who is a lot more like RPO-ish. I think would be good for a Trey Lance or a Justin Fields. And so I think you're looking at when's the next time? Atlanta's not a terrible team. They have Matt Ryan's competent. They have a good offense. When's the next time they're going to be in the top 4, and be able to pick up a quarterback, especially of this caliber of QBs in the draft? So I think I'm pretty sure they're going to take one.
Didn't they pick up?
Go ahead.
I was say, didn't they pick up an offensive lineman too? Was it center or was it tackle?
Didn't they lose Alex Mack?
They lost him.
They
lost. I thought they signed someone too.
I think Mack went to
the Niners.
The Niners.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
But, Arthur Smith, do you know what his background is? Do you know about his father?
Who's Arthur Smith?
The coach of the Falcons.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about blank. I was like,
no.
Smith's dad was richer than blank, I think. Smith's dad started FedEx.
Oh, okay. So he comes from money.
Ooh.
But Raiders. He's doing.
Raiders got a center. They care about their offensive line slightly.
Well, not really though. They still cut like 2 or 3 other guys.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like they picked up Kenyon Drake to pair with Jacobs, and they're paying Drake more than Jacobs, but they don't have anybody to run behind.
And they're cutting Mariota to pay Kenyon Drake.
Maybe because they asked Mariota to take a $3 million pay cut.
And he said no.
I was saying, do you think he's going to?
He said no. He already said it. No.
Mm-hmm.
He said no.
He's like, he's calling their bluff.
Well, it is a good time to get into the market now. I mean, almost every quarterback's gone. You got Fitzpatrick went to Washington. You've got Trubisky that went to the Bills. You've got.
I know. I had to do a welfare
Dalton.
check on Mike after the Fitzpatrick.
I was so sad. You got Dalton that went to
Bears.
Bears.
Starting for the Bears.
So sad for the Bears organization, man.
Well, like they were like throwing out offers for Russell Wilson, and the Bears
and
fans
Watson.
Were like, woo! And now
like,
it's
Watson?
like, okay, Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Little flag. Yay.
Yeah.
I love the meme of Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
What's it? Chicago quarterback.
and not to mention all the money you're paying Nick Foles to sit on the bench. I mean, the irony is just so sweet either way you look at it. And let me tell you, being a guy that lives in Chicago, seeing the Bears fans' reactions on social media.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Foles ends up in Denver, though, too. A lot of what Benjamin Albright was saying is either Minshew, Foles,
or Darnold, wasn't it?
Yeah, or Darnold. But I just don't really want to give up a second round. I would give up a third for Darnold. I don't want to give up a second, though.
So they extend Matt Ryan a few years this week. Yes.
Desmond King signs with the Texans, by the way.
Oh,
who?
Desmond King.
The Texans and the Patriots are signing everybody.
The Texans are signing a bunch of nobodies, though. Except for, Desmond King's decent. But
yeah, he is pretty decent. But, he looked pretty good in Tennessee last year. No, wait, not Tennessee. Was it Seattle, right?
Who?
Desmond King? Packers.
No, he was Titans. I thought he was Titans.
Oh, was he?
Oh, no, it wasn't Titans.
I think it was Kings. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Because he got traded. But the Texans are just, they're giving up their good guys and they're just trying to build off of free agency, It's like Tyrod Taylor's going to go in there.
Oh, yeah. Taylor, that's the one I forgot. Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor's going to go into that season just throwing to God knows who.
It kind of, the whole situation kind of reminds me of like a kid at like a toy store, and like the parents trying to stop their kid from having a tantrum. So he's like grabbing toys off the shelf, like this one. Would this make you better? And the kid's like, no. But this one, nope. This one, the kid's just gone. It's like,
the Chargers lost Hunter Henry and they replaced him with Jared Cook, right?
No, Gerald Everett.
No.
Yeah, you're right, Jared Cook. Gerald Everett went to Seattle. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there's any more big signings. I don't think so. The 49ers are hosting Flacco. Whoop, whoop. They're on the winning path.
Makes sense.
Please sign him.
Oh, that's so funny. All right, so we definitely have some Broncos news that we have not covered yet.
What happened?
Where? What? Oh, I thought that was like, what? Make me nervous. Don't do that.
I looked around too.
Okay, so there.
That was for the left glove.
I found it. So they picked up Von Miller's option. And honestly, I think that's because Leonard Floyd's contract. Like if Leonard Floyd hadn't signed that contract, I think they'd still be fighting it out.
I just think.
Once he signed it, where are you going to go? Like he's not going to take less than Floyd.
I think it was just in case. I think that they always really did want Vaughn back, but they wanted him restructured, and Vaughn was like, "Nah, it's all right." And then they're like, okay, like let's see what else is out there just in case. And then they were just like, "Nah, screw it, we need him back." And just like, because I don't know. I mean, the fact that Leonard Floyd is going to get 16, of course you're going to pay Vaughn 18. Like it's just It's Von Miller.
That's why I'm saying like with Leonard Floyd's contract, there wasn't really anywhere they could go.
No, yeah, they were like, shoot.
Shoot. Let's see. Ronald Darby. See, I don't mind the player. I don't so much like the contract. It's kind of the same thing with Boye. Like he's hurt all the time. I mean, when he's on, he's good, but can he stay on the field?
I mean, you say that about the contract, and then William Jackson got paid right after, and it was like ridiculous. And you're like, oh, I like Roby's contract, or not Roby. I always do that every single time. Darby and Roby. Darby's contract.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that's been on when John Elway was the GM. He was on that list every single offseason. where when the Broncos were looking for cornerbacks, Ronald Darby, and I think Ronald Darby was with the Eagles at the time, where he was a high priority cornerback. So now that the Broncos have gotten their selection, I'm more interested to see whose idea it was to go get a cornerback. Was it more Vic Fangio's, influencing George Payton? Was it George Payton just himself trying to do it? I mean, the choice is really interesting to me. But either way, I know a lot of people in Broncos country are really concerned about how much the Broncos paid. But like I said on Tuesday's Broncos Talk podcast show, and I took this from what Shannon Sharp says, every single team overpays for everybody in free agency. That's just the risk you have to take in order to try to land these big names. Now, whether these big name players actually go off and, continue to play good as they did in their former teams, that's the risk you're taking with these so-called players. Sometimes it doesn't work out. They don't work out in certain schemes, or they get hurt, or, different things happen. But the point of it, the whole thing is that at least it wasn't a no-name cornerback, somebody that the Broncos have never heard of. And it's like you paying a no-name guy a bunch of money and he doesn't fit the scheme or whatever. So at least it's somebody that people know who he is. He put on some decent tape with Washington last year, and hopefully he can come in and bring that, gameplay to Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, and with the contract, I think it's like $4 million the first year, and then $9.5 million the 2 years after that. Having out till 2023. So you're kind of just banking on him to play those 2 years, and if he plays those 2 years decently, I mean that's already a better contract than we were paying Boye. So I think as we saw, I mean, we're still going to get another. I still think we're going to get another free agent, maybe a cheaper option or more pricey, depending on. Like everyone keeps talking about Kyle Fuller from the Bears, but I think he'd be really expensive. And then still, plenty of draft pickups, I think, and we'll be looking pretty decent.
Where do you think Fuller would be this stage of the game?
Pay wise?
Yeah.
Probably at least 15, 16.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, we're paying Simmons what, 12?
I think around that area.
For the franchise tag?
Mm-hmm.
He'll get a long-term deal. I mean, I'm not worried. I am not worried about that at all. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see who comes in on the opposite side of him of safety. Yeah, since we now know that it's not going to be Kareem Jackson.
I'm seeing all these comments here about Lindsay. I promise we're going to get to Lindsay. I promise.
I mean, Jalen's averaging 20, it looks like, and Darius Slay is down at 16.5. So yeah, you're going to be at least you're going to be spending a little bit of money for someone like that. So I would just rather just get some depth and get some early round or just not even early round, just some draft picks to fill the spot.
Chad, who was the other cornerback they were dealing with? Were we dealing with another one?
Dealing with another cornerback.
I've not heard any.
I don't think we were having
that.
Casey Hayward, maybe talking about. Because I know his name was mentioned as a possible pickup.
Well, they were saying Darby was paid.
Their number one, but
top of the list. But is there anybody else we were talking to?
Shoot, I know who you're talking about. They're talking to one that decided to just go back with their original team. Might have been
Kyle Fuller.
No. I'll have to. You can move on. I'll have to look it up real quick.
Okay, good. I don't know.
I can't. I'm trying to think of all the cornerbacks that have come and gone. It's not Gilmore, is it?
No.
So speaking of Fuller, Rap Sheet just posted 5 minutes ago. The Bears are releasing veteran cornerback Kyle Fuller. Sources say a cap casualty.
Yeah, there was an article that came out that said that the Bears had made it just under the cap, and then there was another article that followed it that was like, oh wait, maybe not. They're gonna
wait a minute.
Yeah, they're gonna have to cut somebody to just barely make it. And I think from what Glenn just reported, breaking news, he was right. Kyle Fuller is a free agent.
Would a Dory Jackson be a good fit in Denver?
He came from Tennessee.
Yeah, I think he's pretty pricey too.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just pretty. I think I'm pretty good with what we paid and the depth at potentially at cornerback now. I like not Roby. Darby.
Darby.
I like Darby. Yes, he
You're
doesn't have all the flashy
mix it
stats
in.
of
You're gonna start
interceptions,
mixing
but-
it into like Darobi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Darby.
Hey, I would like to see Kyle Fuller in Denver, but he
Me
would
too.
be pricey. He would not come to Denver for cheap, I would say.
Well,
I
when
think
I
we have
just
like
glanced
almost
at-
30, right? We have about 30 in cap, I think, still. So
Mm-hmm.
when I just glanced at Twitter, it was actually Benjamin Albright that retweeted Rap Sheet, and he had the eyes looking as the caption.
He's raising the eyebrows already.
I like it.
Jeez.
I couldn't find who that
All right.
cornerback was, but I'm pretty sure it was from a team that had red colors. For some reason, that's stuck in my mind. So
Was it
maybe-
Patrick Peterson?
No.
Oh no, wait, he went to
Uh,
Minnesota.
No, it was a,
Oh, yeah, there's another one.
player that stayed with the same team. Maybe Bengals. It's kind of orange.
It's not red.
I know, but it's in my
That's
mind. It's like
orange.
okay.
The
Anyway,
Niners? Thinking 49ers maybe? Richard
No.
Sherman. Well, Richard Sherman's not signed yet.
Well, and then there's the Bills if they use their color rush or.
Oh yeah, there is.
Well, they signed on a Thursday night. That's what I'm looking
Because I signed on a Thursday night at 8:02 p.m. All right, so let's go ahead and just get into the big topic. Get up there. What up, guys? Just came on. How do you guys feel about Lindsay? Sorry, haha, had to ask. Well, and that's kind of the big thing going on right now. I mean, I think we've all talked about it. I'm upset because I like Lindsay, but I understand why they let him go. Me personally, I think it was the right thing to do, and that's just because with Shermer's offense, it's not working, and I don't know if it's a Shermer thing, if it's a scheme thing, if it's a Lindsay thing, if it's a line thing, I don't know, but it's not working, and so rather than have Lindsay completely ruin his credibility and his career in Denver by being misused, I would much rather let him go, find the right place to go, and succeed. That's just me.
Broncos country, look at me. I am the captain now. No, I'm just kidding. But we had this conversation before. I know I'm not the best comedian. I know that's why there's no rim shot. But we've had this conversation before. You should have expected this when we got George Payton in the building as a GM. A lot of people in Broncos country are so used to how John Elway ran things. You know, we already knew what John Elway was going to say at pressers. We already knew what John Elway was going to do somewhat during free agency. That's something we've been used to so much over the last couple of years. So now that we have a new GM in, I said it from the beginning. He is going to come in and he's going to make some changes. Some people in Broncos country are going to like it. Some people in Broncos country are going to hate it. Now, me, I love Phillip Lindsay. I was big on the Colorado kid. I still am. And as much as I don't like to see him go, unfortunately, if you keep somebody like Lindsay in this system and he doesn't flourish, and I'm not talking about what he did last season because last season he was injured and, you know, he went off on the offensive coordinator, offensive scheme. So to me, you don't want Phillip Lindsay to be held up from that. I was honestly hoping that Shermer can, you know, run that 1-2 punch I kept talking about, but unfortunately it didn't happen. And I just don't want to see Lindsay waste a season of his talent in a scheme where he's not being used. So as much as it hurts, I'd rather him go to another team, get paid a buttload of money, and he actually, you know, make a name for him, a better name for himself, and continue to have a great career.
Go ahead, Glenn. I see you biting. I see you chomping at the bit.
You know, and I have a lot of this is actually not a Terrell shirt. This is a Phil shirt, and I have a.
I don't believe you.
Give him the name.
Hey,
Give him the name.
They misspelled Davis on there.
yeah.
I just got this. It was half price.
Oh.
No.
I have a lot of respect for Phil. I love him, but I don't think it's a scheme thing. I think it's a Phil thing, and you know, and would people be so up in arms if Phillip was from Idaho or because he's the Colorado kid? That's you know, there's the great story that goes along there, but you know, the fact is we can pretend that the guy was a receiving back or he had the ability to do that, but when he came in the game, you knew it was a running play, And that's what everybody is saying. And I am, this again, no disrespect. I want him to go get a huge contract. I want him to have a successful career. I think he's a great guy. I loved having him on the team. However, I'm wondering if he's even going to get a contract offer that exceeds what the tender offer would be at this point. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's going to be very interesting what kind of money gets thrown his way, because he is limited in the fact, especially that he was hurt so much last year. And the reason his stats weren't very good is he missed a lot of games. So it is going to be an interesting story. I don't think that there's any chance he goes to Kansas City, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I wish him the best. I think I loved him at CU and I loved him with the Broncos, but I totally get the move.
So you don't think he gets even 2.1?
I don't know. I mean, if this is what the opinion is, I mean, even out of college, he didn't get drafted. When that many teams passed him over 7 times, and then he signs as a free agent and came out of the gates like a cannon. It's going to be very interesting, especially since running backs are not valued, unless of course you're the Raiders paying a backup running back.
Yeah, that's see, you don't want to be those people. Yeah, I mean, I don't find it surprising in one bit. I mean, when you have a coordinator doesn't fit your scheme, he's $180 soaking wet, and he can't. He's terrible in pass pro. They would. It's not like they didn't. If you have a cheap option at running back, why and you want to throw him the ball, like it's not like you're going to be like, no, I don't want to throw him the ball because he's the cheaper option than Melvin Gordon. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like he just wasn't as good as Melvin Gordon was. And when you have a bell cow like that, sometimes it happens. It's business. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but Lindsay just wasn't the all around back. But do I think he'll be successful in a different scheme that loves all their different, their inside and outside zones and their sweeps, their screens, where it's just kind of like a little toss pass and then he can just catch it and then go for it. Absolutely. Like Titans, San Francisco is the big one, Ravens, Patriots, any of those that have all those different running scheme, RPOs, whatnot. Like, I think he'll flourish for sure. Do I think he'll get a big I think he'll get more than the tender for sure, but I don't think it'll be that much more. But whatever will get him to feed his family, and I think he'll have a pretty solid career in the NFL. But I love the kid, and I am super. He was awesome to have his Broncos, and definitely earned the number 30 for sure over the 2-3 years he was here. So.
Jason with another one. Do you think that Lindsay's lack of durability made the decision easy for the coaching staff to let him walk? I mean, I definitely think it played a part of it. I mean, he was injured every season he was here. The first year he was when he had the 1,000 yards, he was only out 1 or 2 games, I think.
He won. He was in the Pro Bowl with his cast on.
Yeah, that's when he had the elbow injury in 2018.
I definitely do think that durability is a problem, but there's also the argument that I keep hearing where Phillip Lindsay wasn't used right. He only ran in the middle. It was about a 50-50 split if you go back and look.
Yeah.
I think it was like 46% on the outside, 54 on the inside. So it was about an even split. And inside is where he did most of the damage.
And what do you expect? What do you expect for them to do? Like, just to continue, just like, Phillip, like, you don't think the defense would catch on if you're like, Lindsay's in the game. Here comes another outside zone. Like, it's just you have to switch it up.
And he started getting more yardage when they started having the guard pull, but you can only do that so many times before it's like, the guard's pulling, he's going to run it. So I love the guy, but with him being in there, you're kind of limited because they know what you're going to do. He was only thrown to like 17 times. There's a reason why he can't catch the ball that well. That's why he's only thrown to 17 times. If your quarterback doesn't trust you, he's not going to throw you the ball. So I love the guy, but he's also 27, and the magic number for running backs is 30. Once you hit 30, that's when the skills start to deteriorate. And if you can't catch the ball well, other than Adrian Peterson, you kind of cut off when you're 30. So I I love the guy, but I understand why they why they tendered him original round, and then they came to the agreement to just take the tender off and let him go. I understand it.
Yeah, that was respect.
And Jason, I think it was definitely durability was playing a role in it. He had multiple types of injuries last year with the turf toe. He had the concussion, just was seemingly getting banged up in different ways. So it wasn't like just one injury that kept being aggravated. He's not a big guy. I mean, the only Phil that he's bigger than is Punxsutawney Phil. So, I just think that he's I think there's a place for him. I don't think it's New England because they rely so much on the screen pass for the running backs. But again, I like Marcus said, I think that he definitely wore 30 well, and I do wish him well.
I totally agree.
Chat, here it is. Lindsay will probably go to Tampa, Arizona, or the 49ers. Hopefully the 49ers, and show us what we missed out on. I mean, definitely the 49ers would be a good fit, I think.
Not Arizona. I've heard Arizona too, and I don't understand. They're such an air raid offense. I don't you have to expect your back to catch. And that's literally one of the reasons he's not
plus
staying.
Kyler Murray's a pretty mobile quarterback, so
yeah, and other than as far as Tampa goes, other than with Fournette and is it Jones is the other running back?
Fournette's free agent.
Fournette's a free agent. They haven't replaced Kenyon Drake yet.
And then you have, I mean, with Tom Brady as quarterback, you're looking at a lot of checkdowns, a lot of screen passes. So I don't know if Lindsay would work in Tampa either.
But can you imagine Joe Flacco throwing screen passes to Phillip Lindsay in San Francisco?
Like 2019.
Oh, geez.
Did he almost get Lindsay killed at one, and he just gave him like the dead eye?
Yeah. He did.
Like it's your fault.
Christos, dual backs would have worked well for both last year, especially when Sutton was out. See, and Lindsay and Gordon did not work well together. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know if it was animosity between the two or I don't know what it was, but they did not work well together.
Well, even in the Melvin Gordon arrest video, he was saying like, please, man, I'm fighting for my spot. Like
I'm in a position battle.
Yeah, I'm in a position battle. Well, listen, that's all you got to do is you got to get a DUI or a not DUI, and then your position battle goes away.
That's the one. He had a concussion because he was speared.
All right, easy with the exclamation point.
Let's see. Fournette would be a good replacement addition to Gordon. I think he's going to be pricey, especially after winning the Super Bowl. He's going to ask for more money.
Honestly, I like Mike Boone so far.
Is he going to be 2 or 3?
No, I think he's going to be more. I would rather get. I don't think they're going to get rid of Freeman, but they might. I would be totally fine with it, but that they're probably like, we like him. He does what he's supposed to, blah, blah, blah. I think Mike Boone's going to be mainly because of his versatility, that he can actually catch, that he can actually play special teams, because Phillip Lindsay played one special team snap. That he, I mean, and it's all about opportunity. I mean, where'd we find Lindsay? I mean, undrafted free agent. Where do we find CJ Anderson? Undrafted free agent. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's all about opportunity. And I think that this guy is like a little Melvin Gordon light. And I think worst case scenario, he's RB3 and he's a solid back. I would rather not. I'm kind of over Royce Freeman though. I want to draft a higher ceiling, because we've seen Royce's ceiling and it's
one. I know you've been pretty big on Najee Harris. Are you still?
He likes Hubbard.
On that trainer, did you move to? Is it Chubba?
No, Javonte Williams is my number one RB in this draft, but I think Najee or Travis Etienne is going to go first, but I don't think we're going to draft a running back that high. I think that they're going to go like towards the end of the first round, probably second or third, probably maybe. And
that depends on who we pick it. If we pick at 9 or if we move up.
Yeah. No, if we move up, we're not getting if we moved up and got Najee Harris, I'd quit.
Moved up to 4, Najee Harris. Oh.
That's where Fournette was drafted.
That's when you're getting Duffy, the punter from Kentucky, number 4.
No, everyone
Special
talking.
teams fixed.
Everyone talking about Najee Harris. I go watch Javonte Williams tape, and it's just like both North Carolina backs, the Michael Carter and Javonte Williams are both. So I wouldn't be surprised if we picked up like a Michael Carter in the like fourth-ish for sure.
I hope we get Hubbard just so we can keep calling him Hubba Bubba.
I just want to have like a fantasy football team of like Chubba Hubbard. That'd be great.
Or Bazooka Joe's.
He gets his own. He gets a football like a rookie card that comes with gum.
Yeah. Well, now that Jake Butt's gone, I can't have Jake Butt tight end as my fantasy football team name anymore.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
That's true. Chad, just felt like more energy out there with Phil. True or false? I definitely think that's true, and I think a lot of that comes with Drew Lock trying to figure out what was going on last year. I think his focus was more on figuring out what to do, whereas Phil's was more of, okay, this is what we need to do, bring that energy, and let's go. So, I hope that we can find that energetic replacement, but yeah, I do agree. Lindsay was energy.
KJ is pretty energetic, and so is Jerry Jeudy out there. So hopefully they'll be able to. They're the young guns. They like to dance and they like to have fun, you know. So hopefully they'll. And then Cortland's a great leader on offense.
Well,
so I think.
And so speaking of wide receiver, we also had Tim Patrick get the second round tender.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander Johnson got the second round tender, and that was it, right? Or was there a third?
No, that was it.
Just the two.
No, that was it. Yeah.
And like I've been saying from the beginning of the year, I wish that we had Sutton on one side, Patrick on the other, with Jeudy in the slot. Holy crap, that would be fun.
Or Kyle Pitts.
Oh, you and Kyle Pitts.
Oh, he's incredible.
Okay, but now what would it be? Would it be Pitts over Patrick, or Pitts over Jeudy?
No, he wouldn't be. Well, actually,
you could a tight end.
Or are you talking about keeping him at tight end instead of Alberto?
It literally doesn't matter. You could put him all over the field. I'm not even joking. He's played all over the field, and he's insane in the red zone. Can you imagine? You put Pitts on the outside, run a 2 tight end set with like Alberto and Fant, and then like Cortland on the opposite side. My God. Good luck. Just to have them all run to the center and just Drew would look amazing.
The way Marcus just said, "My God," he sounded like the movie trailer guy that said, "In a world,
in a world where Marcus says, my God."
Totally right.
Waiting for something to fall on me. Chad, sign Alex Smith more to mentor, not so much to play. I like the question mark play. And I this is just my opinion. Don't skewer me. But if it's Alex Smith, I don't think Drew Lock starts. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
I know you do, Lock lover.
Well, not even because I'm a Lock lover. I just feel that Alex Smith, if he wants to go to a team where he wants to start, I don't think he would come to a team where he would have to battle the current quarterback for. Because if he does come to Denver, he would have to go to camp and outgun somebody like Drew Lock, and then the coaching staff would have to probably tell him like, "Hey, you got to take a back seat, learn from Alex Smith, and just basically ride the bench." But I think the Broncos are pretty much tuned into Deshaun Watson, and even though Deshaun Watson's going through his whole drama thing right now, I'm pretty sure that Peyton is going to hold off until he can't hold on any longer in terms of, whatever the situation with Watson is. It gets too big where not even Peyton wouldn't want to bring that type of controversy or whatever to Mile High, and then the Broncos would decide to move on from Deshaun Watson. So I personally think that that's what he's waiting for. I'm pretty sure he's waiting for a phone call from Houston to finally say, "Hey, look, we cave. Let's talk business and try to bring Watson over to Denver."
Yeah.
What about Darnold?
I was waiting for somebody to say something.
No. Yeah, I was waiting for Glenn. I was like,
Well, I like
Brady
the,
Bunch. We got to go like.
I like the We Cave sales pitch. I think that.
Yeah. No,
What about Darnold? I mean, what do you think about that?
I have
fine with
never
it for
had a
a
problem
third.
with Darnold.
For a third, I'm okay with it for a third.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I don't like it for a second,
No, me neither.
No, second is too rich. Third would be fine.
but
So,
I don't think.
so let's say you had Darnold and Locke going into a camp battle. Who comes out the winner?
I don't know, honestly. Like, I think it's a pretty equal.
I think it'd be equal.
Because I keep hearing all this, like Darnold is a terrible quarterback, but it's like terrible team,
Locke would
terrible
start.
coach. Like it was bad.
Locke would start the season. I almost guarantee that.
So?
If yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Just because he knows the offense more, I think he would definitely go into the season as the starter. But would he eventually get in there? Maybe. I could definitely see him potentially beating out Locke, but it's all about chemistry and knowing the offense to be and being super comfortable at first, right? You're gonna that's what happened. Like, any quarterback where you have a veteran that you have come in there that has already been there, they always start the season, and then it dwindles off, right? Because then you have more practices, more more camps, more blah blah blah, more games for them to be like, this isn't going anywhere. Let's put you in,
Mike and I were talking earlier, and he made a good point. Everybody that's saying with Drew, he just needs good coaching. He needs time. He's young. Then they we say, what about Sam Darnold? He sucks.
He's a piece of crap. It's like Adam Gase ruins. Well, and Tannehill is a perfect example. Like Tannehill was there under Gase, not very good. He leaves. He goes to a better coach team. And he's a top 10 quarterback. So it's it's Gase.
I'll put it out. I'll put it out there like this. If you would have put Drew Lock on the Jets with what they had the last what Darnold has had to go through,
Jamarcus Russell,
just like
Jamarcus Russell.
So the option of actually giving Sam Darnold, that's why a lot of people liked him to the Colts, is because they have players, they have things around him, right? If you were to, like, the Broncos are an intriguing spot. We have a good defense, a good defensive coach, have a good offensive line, a decent offensive line, weapons. Like, the quarterback is the only thing that's really, we don't know.
Yeah. Biggie Bronco, I'm assuming that's Darnold. Damaged goods, Locke would win that straight up.
I wouldn't call Sam Darnold damaged goods. He only looked that way because coaching made him look that way.
Even with the Jets, you still saw flashes, a lot of flashes of good play.
Yeah.
So
we saw flashes, and
that's the one thing I kept saying is when you have take a rookie quarterback, for example, the expectation is that they come in, they play consistently good, not great, but good play. And then they have flashes of bad play that they fix in their second or third year. With Drew Lock, we had consistently bad play with flashes of good. So it's the opposite. Whereas Darnold showed consistently good to great play, and then there was really bad play. But the really bad play was also mixed in with a terrible roster, terrible coaching, like all of it. So I'm not saying that Darnold would beat Lock, but it would not be. Locke definitely does not have it locked down.
Yeah, I think George. I think George Payton is going to explore all of his options. One quarterback that he might look into would probably be, and Marcus and I were talking about this earlier, would probably be Marcus Mariota, seeing as how he's going to get cut by the Raiders. And unless Payton can make him an interesting offer, and he'd want to come in and maybe play behind Drew Lock or, go into competition for a starting position. Either way, I think that would be an interesting pickup over Sam Darnold. But right now, as long as you guys know that there's a quarterback floating around, there's a chance that that person can land in Denver as the backup, because obviously I think all the hype around Brett Rippon is kind of starting to slow down in terms of going out and, beating every single team.
Where's the Rippon hype at?
Yeah.
His mom.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
Red
the
Mrs.
Jeff
Red
Driscoll
Band?
train, and the Jeff Driscoll train was only good for one stop, and unfortunately, Tom Brady
That was like a
put
quarter
that.
of a stop.
Yeah,
I-
Tom Brady put that dream to bed.
I think one of the main things that we don't really put enough weight on is time. Like, do we expect a veteran to really get brought in here because that kind of pigeonholes Peyton a bit, doesn't it? Because if he wants to be involved in a Deshaun trade, or if he wants to be involved in a potentially drafting a QB, if you go out and get a Marcus Mariota, then what? Do you still, like, if a quarterback falls to you in the draft, do you still take a quarterback, or are you just like, oh, I'm fine with, Marcus Mariota? I mean, it's so I think time really plays a big part in this, and we'll see. I mean, like, because some of these players are still going to be. I mean, some of these backups are. I mean, they're all like pretty even at this point. Like, is not really a big like positive or negative on either side. So why not just wait through the draft and let it? If someone falls to you, then great. There's your backup / competition. If not, then there's still quarterbacks on the free agency market you can throw in there behind lock.
That's a good point. There is going to be a surplus, and we were listening to the Peyton press conference right before the show started, and he mentioned Drew Lock. We love Drew. We think he's a great quarterback. And then he proceeded to say that when asked about number 9, is quarterback still in place? That absolutely quarterback still in place.
Yeah.
Are you going to be traveling around to see other quarterbacks? Yes, I'll be going to every quarterback, like to see them. To see
the way he said it was hilarious.
Right.
He was like, but more than it, he's like, but like accentuating, but quarterback is definitely. You're like, oh, okay. Well.
Jason O'Neill, who is the perfect quarterback to pair with Shermer? That's the $1 million question.
Case Keenum.
I mean, are we talking like rookie, or are we talking free agent? Are we talking all?
Well, let's keep in mind that back when the Giants picked in that draft, they picked Daniel Jones. Pat Shurmur was the head coach at that time, and he wanted Drew Lock. He went on record saying that if it was up to him, he would have drafted Drew Lock in that draft. So when Pat Shurmur came to Denver last year, it was starting to look like, okay, things were aligning. Pat Shurmur got his quarterback, and then 2020 happened, and so far it hasn't looked like that's the case. So in terms of answering your question, Jason, on who the perfect quarterback is to pair with Shurmur, I don't think there really is one, because Drew Lock was Shurmur's chance to show to not just Broncos country, but to everybody that he can go back and try to make somebody like Drew Lock look like what he did with Case Keenum when he was in Minnesota. Case Keenum coming in for Sam Bradford that season looked fantastic until they ran into the Eagles and got completely steamrolled. So that's kind of what we were hoping to see last year, and unfortunately we didn't get it. So who knows?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think probably a younger Alex Smith would be a good fit. A younger one, not the current one. And probably they didn't put a time limit on it.
Car in reverse, trying to get the mileage.
I mean, as far as skill set goes, Alex Smith would probably be a fit.
I see him going to Jacksonville. Urban Meyer.
Maybe.
That's a lot of money to put into a backup, though. Because he's not.
Yeah, but Jacksonville would need
first round, first pick. So
they need a mentor, though. And Alex Smith, he would be a lot of money, but the Jaguars have the cap space for it, so it'd be a raindrop in the lake for them, And his experience on the bench, just being his mentorship, would go a long way in helping to push Trevor Lawrence down the right path. And that's saying if the Jaguars even pick Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
is that really
they will. To Adon's point, though, we're all aware that Drew Lock interviews very well. So I'm sure I'm sure during the interview process, Pat Shurmur was like, wow, right? Because Pat Shurmur's offense is all about quick reads and processing. And what Drew doesn't do well is process.
Quick reads.
So if you ask me if say in the draft, I'd say a Mac Jones would be a great Shurmur fit.
Boom.
Do I want him? No, because then
No.
you're pigeonholed in the Shermer style offense, right? So, or
And you
like
better have a good
Alex
line
Smith.
if it's not
Alex
gonna
Smith is good. A Tyrod Taylor, like you know what I mean. Like it's all about the dink and dunking, getting it down the field, and then your occasional deep shot because you've been dinking and dunking the whole game. The quick slants, the quick outs, But so that would be Mac Jones would be great, but not on the Broncos. If Shermer gets fired and goes to the team that Mac Jones was drafted to, wow, that's going to be like him and Case Keenum all over again.
You heard it here first. Boggins wants Mac Jones and nobody else.
That's not what I said.
George mentions Kyle Fuller. George mentions Kyle Fuller, hoping that the Broncos sign him. Vic was his guy for 4 years, so that would be there's an obvious relationship there, so that could be very, very interesting.
Was this a thing that was being talked about, a Bridgewater trade?
Well, it looks like Carolina's trying to get rid of Bridgewater. Bridgewater and Carolina right now they're not happy because everybody knows that the Panthers are trying to go big on the Watson trade. So Bridgewater could end up in Houston if the deal is sweet enough and Houston bites. And Deshaun Watson says, yeah.
Yeah, but poor Bridgewater, man. That would be rough. And I don't think Deshaun would want to go to the Panthers either. No. What do they have? I mean, I guess they have. McCaffrey would be in that trade. So
yeah, so he's
they would have he would be in Houston too. Like so, I don't know.
McCaffrey and is it Mark Ingram? McCaffrey and Ingram. Whoop whoop.
Yeah,
there's your all-pro backs right there.
I'd take it, just not on the Texans. I would take the Jets over the Texans any day.
They would each need someone to help them get the mug off the top shelf.
Yeah.
Ian, are you really 6'10"? No, I'm not.
He's
yes, I am.
6'10", 6'11" with the glove.
Mm-hmm.
with the glove. You know what? I get asked that almost at least once or twice a week, every single time. So
with that glove on, you're gonna have to treat us to a moonwalk before we come out of here.
Moonwalk. I'll just be spinning around in a damn circle.
Landon just broke some disappointing news, by the way.
Oh no, Will Fuller went to the Dolphins.
I saw Fuller to the Dolphins. Okay, I didn't see the Will. No, that's not. No, he was thinking Kyle Fuller. Never.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, he's not gone yet.
Did he? Let me check.
No, Will Fuller went to the Dolphins. Kyle.
Yeah.
That's right. I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, that happened fast.
Okay, so look.
Your son is smart, Mike.
Fuller.
Will Fuller the 5th went to the Dolphins.
Yeah, from the Bears, right?
No, from the Texans, the receiver.
No. What cornerback Fuller?
Kyle
Fuller?
Nothing's happened
from
yet.
the Bears.
Okay.
I jumped the gun.
Oh, so he's not cut.
Calm down, Glenn. Everyone, calm down.
The receiver, Will Fuller.
Jeremy Fuller. Oh,
the Fuller brush man.
Shaniqua Fuller. Okay. Let's see here. Looks like the NFL is investigating the allegations against Watson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not really a lot to say about it. I mean, we don't know if it's true. If it's not, it's kind of the same thing as it's kind of the same thing as a Vaughn investigation. You just got to kind of let it play out and see what happens.
Yep.
And the authorities have to look into it. I mean, because if it's there are a lot of complaints, and if it's legitimate, I mean, this is very, very serious.
So I just don't like commenting on things like this because it's just like we don't know anything until it's
nothing. We know nothing.
I mean, once things start being like settled out of court and stuff, then you'll be like, oh, okay, I don't want that. You know what I mean? But as for now, we kind of just have to take everything with a grain of salt. Very, very, very convenient timing, though, I will say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
especially 9 different women. I mean, like
six,
Mark.
See, there's,
like Marcus said, there's a lot of shady parts to that story, but until everybody gets a little bit more information,
we really shouldn't even go there.
Yeah.
I'm saying nothing.
Plead the
You
fifth.
just said
Nothing to
something.
say. Shut up. It looks like Juju Smith is looking at the Jets. The Jets are talking to Schuster.
Yeah.
How was the Packers
Yeah.
not find a receiver, by the way?
But then they
Because
got
But the Packers don't need help on offense, though. They need help on defense. And it was the same thing with last year's draft.
The Packers make like one big move in free agency, and that's it. The only exception was signing the Smith brothers a couple of years ago. But other than that, it's like, man, we're good.
Yeah, the Jets got one of my favorite players at receiver, Corey Davis. I told you that guy's a player.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Lee
like in the first or second episode, you're like, Corey Davis, he's terrible.
and
Washington-
another wide receiver from the Jags, I think. I forgot his name though. Lee.
Marquise?
Cole.
Marquise Lee.
Keenan Cole.
Tyler-
Sorry.
Keenan Cole.
Yeah.
He left Jacksonville. Yeah, and Curtis Samuel left the Panthers to go to Washington. So him and Terry McLaurin are reunited again, and those two guys with Fitzmagic are gonna do some damage, man.
They're gonna win like 6 games.
It's gonna be incredible.
Hey, if they win their division again, they'll be happy.
I
That's
am
fair.
like
6 games might do it.
I think, yeah. What do you think about the tight end pairing at the Patriots now? Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Like
It's
they're
good.
like rebuilding that entire team in free agency.
It'll be the slowest game you've ever seen, and it'll be great. Just all these different 2 tight end RPO run formations. It's going to be
Well, but
it's gonna
that's
go
what they ran
so
with.
well.
That's what they ran with Brady though, too, wasn't it? 2 tight end sets.
Yeah, but Brady didn't run
Kick and
anywhere.
dunk.
Like that's
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
yeah. Cam Newton. See, Brady didn't run anywhere. Cam Newton doesn't throw anywhere. So you just kind of like you just swap it.
Yeah,
That's
Cam
fine.
Newton's got
That's fine.
that kind of like Lamar Jackson type of gameplay, except not as fast as Lamar Jackson.
And
if
when
you
you
don't
think
pass
about-
Lamar's gone.
Josh McDaniels did works with Tebow.
Mhm.
So just do that with Cam Newton.
Tebow!
Chad
want
mentioned Henry's always hurt, but one thing he has going for him is he hasn't killed anyone yet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, you know what? I read an article today where people in Boston, this radio host and his co-host or whatever, they were trashing the fact that the Patriots re-signed Cam Newton. They felt that Cam Newton was not the answer to New England's problem. So,
Dude, there was so many roster issues with the Patriots team, though. They had no talent at all.
to me, the Patriots signings Belichick took it as kind of like it rubbed him the wrong way seeing Tom Brady go to another team and not only making the playoffs, not only making a Super Bowl, but winning a Super Bowl. So, and if it's one thing you don't want to do, and I've been hearing this a lot lately, is you don't want to build a team through free agency, because then the gamble is a lot higher than if you went through the draft. And unfortunately, Bill Belichick is not a head coach that can pick through the draft. I mean, look at what he did with his last couple of picks over the years. And I mean, it's a high risk, bringing Cam Newton, getting all the guys that they brought in through free agency and expecting them to play in the level that they were with their current teams and come in and play under a Josh McDaniels type of scheme or whoever their defensive coordinator is in New England right now. So, and it'll be interesting to see if all that can contend with the Bills, an up-and-coming Dolphins team, and maybe even a rebuilding Jets team.
You had me up until the last comment.
Well, so is that the saying, though? You don't build through the free I thought it was you fill holes in free agents or needs in free
Peyton
agency.
said you don't build
the team and draft.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Patriots also, one of the things that, well, first of all, Cam had 8 touchdown passes. I know he had a lot of running TDs and had success on the ground, but we're talking about this major upheaval of our quarterback situation, and ours made double digits at least. I mean, a starting quarterback that had 8 touchdown passes is just astounding to me. But one thing that they also had is they had a lot of opt-outs last season. So in addition to all these new signings, some of them which were ridiculous, Aguilar getting $13 million a season, they're at least getting these other players back too. That is going to be a completely revamped roster. But the Bills have just been leapfrogging them. I just don't see the Patriots winning that division at all.
Didn't they sign another receiver aside from Aguilar?
They did. They signed a possession receiver out of from the Niners.
Kendrick Bourne.
Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Kendrick Bourne.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know they got Patrick Chung retiring.
Mhm.
And then who is the other linebacker that opted out that plays the same position as Kyle Van Noy that they just re-signed?
Kyle Van Noy.
No, there's another.
Not Vinovich, is it?
No, I don't remember. There's another linebacker on the Patriots that was a Pro Bowl linebacker before last year that they're now signing Kyle Van Noy back to play the same spot as him. It's weird. But Kyle Van Noy was and so Miami's paying Kyle Van Noy to play against them.
Yeah, basically they're taking the captain, which makes no sense. I don't know what Brian Flores was thinking on
It's
that.
like Trent Brown too. Trent Brown came back. Everyone goes back to the Patriots.
Yeah, George mentions Hightower, but he actually took the year off. He opted out.
I think that's who maybe Mike was referring to. Hightower.
Oh, yeah, Dante Hightower.
There you go. No, not Jamie Collins.
Did you see the
He did go back.
the tackle that signed like $10,000 above Bakhtiari, and Bakhtiari was on Twitter like,
that's petty.
you petty AF. Like that was funny.
That was hilarious.
Oh, it's so good.
It was
I wish
all
they would
good
have paid Mike Remmers like that, KC. That would have been great.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So everyone's talking about the two signings for the offensive line for the Chiefs, but they're guards. Like they're re-signing Remmers. You see how bad he played in the last Super Bowl? Not even including the one against the Broncos.
You just find someone else to play. You just put anybody else in to replace Remmers in a Super Bowl, and you'll be fine.
I do not envy that coaching staff when they made that decision to cut their offensive linemen and bring in. I mean, you got Joe Tooney, who's a really good player, but like we said before, he can only block one person at a time.
I just don't understand. Like the guards, unless the two guards that they had that opted out aren't coming back, those are two like all pro guards. Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to bump Tooney out? And they got Long is the other one they got, right?
Yeah.
So are they gonna bump Long out? I mean, he's athletic enough, but he's been an all-pro at guard.
No,
Kyle Long missed a year of football, so he's gonna come in rusty.
I think they're gonna be play their positions, but I think they're probably gonna start Lucas Niang at like left, who they drafted last year, who was one of the guys that we wanted, but he was still a pretty decently deep pick. Probably grab another one and just have depth to be there with Remmers and Yang. I don't know. It's whoever it is isn't going to be able to compete very well against our front seven. Have fun. Shelby, Draymond.
And that's not even like. So who's on the other side? So it's Draymond, Shelby, Purcell.
Purcell.
Purcell would, and Shelby.
Okay.
Draymond would be rotating.
So Shelby, and it's a base 3-4, so they switch between 4 and 3 on the line, right?
Oh yeah, right. That's right.
Yeah. You have Bradley Chubb that kind of switches out as like D end and an off ball.
Because I didn't know like if they bring. So is it DeMarcus Walker that comes in relief of Shelby Harris, or is it?
Well, he used to Mark
Jones, Walker, and then Harris Purcell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he comes in for Harris, I believe, or not? For Harris, I believe.
He comes in for Harris.
Mm-hmm. Which would be crazy if we ended up getting another edge in the draft, and then you just have like crazy rotational pass runs. It's just
with Vic Fangio still at the helm, that would be a great idea, because just in case Fangio, lays an egg and he gets fired, at least he would be able to get us.
Are we bringing Walker back? You think? Because he's a free agent, right?
Hopefully, if he tests the league and he doesn't get an offer anywhere else, I could see him coming back.
That's one other thing I wanted to talk about. Kareem Jackson's still available. Do you think they gambled to release him to get a cheaper payday on him?
Maybe it's possible.
Maybe
that was another thing Peyton just said in the news conference a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
two allusions to the fact that they one was that they said they would welcome him back. And two, he started listing that there are a lot of safeties available, including Kareem, that we can pick up.
Well, and I mean, do you think that's a game plan that they have for Lindsay as well? Like, let him test it.
No.
They don't think that there's anybody going to take him and they can get him back.
No.
Did you see the goodbye Kareem, thanks for everything graphics that have gone out? Because I haven't.
Yeah,
Me neither.
No.
The Phillip Lindsay one was
Yeah.
pre-made. I was ready to press.
yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. Like again, I don't think Lindsay's a good fit for what the Broncos are doing.
Where's the thank you
But-
Kareem up here? Where's the thank you Kareem?
I
Hashtag
can't-
thank you Kareem.
I guess I could fit
It's
both.
not.
See,
just put
It's
thank
all
you
about
guys.
Phil.
Just put thank you guys next time, and then we'll just name them like thank you Kareem, thank you. Phil.
I'm just gonna put a hashtag amazeballs up there. and then you
graduating.
don't have to bug me about nothing.
She was like, thank you, congrats, graduating class of 20.
Dun, da, 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 da.
What about Lindsay? You think if another team offers, we will match? I doubt it.
No,
No,
Ian
they already
was,
they rescinded the offer.
They let him
Yeah.
go.
Yep.
Yeah, they let him go.
He's gone.
Whoa. Joe B. Khalil Mack traded to Washington.
Yeah, right.
Is that true?
Nah, I don't think so.
I'm not saying it's true, so don't say that I got catfished. Hang on.
Until Landon tells me it's true.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
I don't see anything on that.
No.
Landon was right with what he said. I just read
He's
it wrong.
trolling. He's trolling.
yeah. I don't see that either. No, the Bears are releasing Kyle Fuller. That's the only Bears news I see. So
Well, until we figure that out, I don't see.
No, there's no way. My phone would be blowing up if that happened.
yeah, I mean, I do not envy the new Bears defensive coordinator. So it'll be interesting to see what he does without one of the Bears' top corners.
Yeah, I don't see it. All I'm seeing is a lot of Kyle Fuller stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's
There you, Joe B.
that would be pretty dumb for the Bears went through so much to get him from the Raiders. Like
Yeah.
that would be, and it's not like he's a terrible player. Like he's still top of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Jinx.
Agreed.
No, we got Sling Blade.
Oh man! All right, guys. Well, I think that's just about going to do it. We want to thank everybody for swinging in. George, Rich, Ian, Landon, Biggie Bronco. We've got. Come on, there's more. Chad. We've got. Bye. I don't know where he went. Let's see here.
He was real anxious to find that left.
I'm not even. I was
clicked.
so not going to put you in.
I clicked leave studio by accident. I was trying to scroll down and see
Christos, Miguel,
comments.
a
My
Rich Heinert. I don't know if I said that right. If I didn't,
Well,
I'm sorry. Jason.
Troy Rank just posted though that he fully expects Broncos to pursue Kyle Fuller if he becomes a free agent. If the Bears actually do release him, so that'd be
if they got Kyle Fuller, who would he be playing over? Would he be playing
Michael
over
Ojemudia.
Darby?
I think so because then they wouldn't have.
So
to
they'd
push
have
him.
Darby and Fuller
Callahan.
on the outside with Callahan at the slot.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Because it would be basically what they had in Chicago in 2018. Callahan and
I can-
and Fuller.
Oh,
I can
That
tell
would
you
be
right
hot.
now. I don't know if. Do you think they'd still draft a corner in the first or
Yeah.
second if they had both of those?
They'd go
Not
linebacker
that
for
early,
sure.
no.
not
Yeah.
that early, but I think they would still draft it because you're still thinking of like
Louis
future.
Riddick. Fuller about to go to Denver or LA Chargers?
Oh please,
Not
no.
the Chargers.
Not the Chargers. Come on, man.
Nobody wants to go. Fans don't even want to go to the Chargers.
Yeah, especially with Brandon Staley running things now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him to get anybody.
Oh, let's see here. All right. So once again, I think that about does it. We want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, we go live every Thursday at 7654. You know where to put them. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Make sure that you give us a like, follow, subscribe, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up. And also share. I don't know if you know this, but thumbs upping and sharing helps a lot. So if you would go ahead and smash that thumbs up, smash that share. Share to everybody that you know, Broncos fan or not, especially if they're Raiders fans. Share it to them. Fill their page with it because we don't like the Raiders. Find your
They
other
wouldn't-
glove.
They wouldn't be able to block it because they got no one to do it.
That was a good one.
Hey,
Thanks, man.
You guys are really sassy tonight, especially Glenn.
Hashtag Sassy Glenn. Hashtag Sassy.
Hashtag sassy Glenn.
Yeah, we didn't have
I
a
like that
trending.
one.
We don't have a trending thing this week. I just noticed that we had Creasy. We had
That wasn't trending just because I misspoke.
Sassy Glenn.
we had the
Sassy Glenn.
Wookie quarterback with my co-host.
Hashtag Sassy Glenn. That's what it's going to be. Sassy Glenn.
Don, I appreciate you trying to.
All right, guys, we will talk to you next week, and make sure you tune in on Tuesdays for Broncos Talk with our boy 6'10" and our boy Rich at the same time, 7654. See you guys.